hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Hello.
And there's no clock, Richard. There's no clock.
It's over here, Matt. You see it?
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay, so now we check to see. Okay, Twitch has the stream.
Okay.
They have confirmed that you're on the air.
Okay.
YouTube has confirmed that you're on the air.
Wow.
Big. I like it.
Facebook always takes a while.
Right. They have to get in touch with
Facebook has
Zuckerberg.
confirmed that you're on the air.
Okay, cool.
You want to invite people to leave comments
Sure.
and maybe ask questions?
Yeah, I can see it on the screen up there. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Your comments and questions are appreciated.
And do Rick's friends see it now?
If I put it on his page, they will. Would you like me to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, put it on his page and my page if you would.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Rick Lattimer.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saved under.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
So the show's basically started, so the time is ticking? No, the time's not ticking yet.
Okay, Rick, is your picture on Facebook a guy wearing sunglasses?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If we were outside, I'd be wearing them right now.
Well, there you go.
Okay. All right, so I will do that as soon as the show. Well, I think I can do it now. Yeah, I can do it now. This way they'll get to see the whole show.
All your friends.
Yeah. Doobie-doo.
See?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm getting the link, so just so you know what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's okay.
Getting the link, so just so you know.
Yeah.
Because we're not friends, I can't put it on Rick's page.
Well, we can do
So
that.
I'm going to Facebook message it to you, okay, Rick?
Sure.
All
Or
right.
you guys could friend quick.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want me to send you a friend request?
What's your last name, Rick?
Wicka.
Richard Wicka.
Yeah. Now, where is the add?
Oh, we are
friend?
friends. We're
we
friends.
are friends. Well,
Yeah.
well, then you have your page set up that nobody can post except you.
Mm.
So that kills that idea. Okay.
So he'll send you the link and then
Okay.
you'll put it on your page.
Okay. That's good to know. All right. So I will go to here.
I still have to fill out that form. Rick,
What form?
for Fantastics.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to submit that. Sorry. I'm waiting on something else from them because I submitted something a while ago. But
They're really ugly. I don't know much stuff like that.
oh, you do.
Okay, and I am sending you both the links if you want to expand your audience. You have the 3 platforms that you are currently on.
Cool.
What, me on the sippy cup? Yeah. All right, talking some
Okay,
Buffalo.
if you do get any comments or questions, you will see them on the big screen.
Yep, I see up there.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay,
Rick
shall we
season
start?
Hopefully
Oh,
not.
definitely.
Okay, so step 1, Matt, is there's the on the air switch.
Yep.
Okay, flip the switch, put the clapper in front of your face. When you hit the clapper, you're on the air.
Richard, I don't see. Oh, there's the clapper. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Time's ticking. Time's ticking. We got an hour. We got a lot to cover.
Yep.
The good, the bad, the ugly of Buffalo theater. There are some people out there who are really worried.
They don't have to be.
No. You know things.
Nah.
You know things. They know you know things.
No.
And hey, did Aaron Judge do it?
1 at bat, 1 run, 1 hit.
Gotta be.
So what does that put him at?
61.
60. Well, I thought he
61. If you're out there and you're watching Aaron Judge, please type in a comment or a question for us about Buffalo theater. I think so. I could look it up.
How many did Bonds get? 70?
73.
73. He won't get there.
No, he'll never get there. But Bonds has a big.
It's only 12 more. How many games are left? Is the season over?
I wanted to start out with baseball, and we are starting out with baseball.
Look, Buffalo, growing up, Buffalo is a football, hockey town primarily.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
whatever.
so
Sure,
following
whatever.
baseball, I don't know.
Okay, that's
No.
fair. That's fair. No, but the 73. There's a big asterisk next to Bonds for me because of the performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, yeah.
The peds, the roids or whatever, because the way he bulked up, he was a guy who looked like you, and then he's like, he's got tree
Well,
trunks.
I looked like Bonds.
Tree trunks.
Before COVID, I looked like Bonds after the steroids.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. So, with Buffalo theater, let's go way back before Buffalo theater. So you were born in Buffalo? You were born in
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is Buffalo region. When you go to Europe and people ask you where you're from, you say Buffalo. And if they say, oh, I'm from Buffalo too, then you say, well, I'm from Hamburg. And they say, oh, I'm from Cheektowaga, screw you. Yeah.
Yeah. I was.
What?
No, go ahead. I'm ready.
So, how did you get involved in theater in the first place? What's your path to all this greatness that I see on my in your resume?
Oh, that's being generous, but
No, it's good. I'll tell you this. To me, you're like the Johnny Depp of Buffalo theater.
Okay. Putting it out there, high bar. I think the first theatrical production I ever did was a version of Peter Pan that we worked when I was maybe like 7 or 8 years old through a company called We Folk. It was something that, like, if your parents weren't home right after you got done with school, you would go there until they would pick you up.
Okay,
And
cool.
that was kind of in the Hamburg area. And they did a play outdoors, and that was a production of Peter Pan, and I played, I think it was John.
Okay, you played one of the Lost Boys. Oh, no, you played one of the boys.
Wendy's brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was the first time that I got involved in a theatrical production of that sort. And then I just clammed up for years.
Really?
Yeah. I would read comic books, and I'm an only child, so
Okay.
I would read characters from comics. I would do the voices for them. And then when it came time for auditions in elementary school, I wouldn't go, or I would be so bland during the audition. I'd get cast as like the tree, or like we did this. I think it was called
Let's go with Rick. He's a good tree.
Wagon Wheels West, I think it was, and I was just like cowboy number 4. And then high school came. I didn't do any extracurricular activities really. I just liked to get out of there, go to school, do
Where'd
classes.
you go to school?
Hamburg High School.
Uh-huh.
And then I got to college, and that's when I finally decided to give it a go. I needed an art class, so I took a class in I took Theater 101, and then they had auditions, so I auditioned for a play, and then went from there.
And then I guess your first credit that you put on your resume is Glengarry Glen Ross, and you self-produced that?
After college, a bunch of us, I think a lot of students, as soon as they get out of college, they have that itch with their friends in school
Sure.
to kind of want to produce their own material and just kind of go with that. So, we had a lot of genuine interest in doing that. So I think a lot of people, we hit up Rust Belt Books, on, where is it? Across from Toy, or where Rust Belt Books used to be.
Yeah, that's where it used to be.
And, that back theater loft. And we did a few shows there. I think we did Geography of a Horse Dreamer by Sam Shepard. We did Glengarry Glen Ross. We did, I think, Fool for Love. And there was another play that is escaping me right now. But,
So you were into the Sam Shepard.
yeah, that was kind of like what my group in college was really
Yeah.
involved in.
There's some weird Sam Shepard stuff. There's that one play, which is the Howard Hughes play, where the character at one point is all covered with tissues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Well, Geography was great because as the horse dreamer, you just start off on stage before the audience even enters, so you don't even get to hang out in the dressing room with your other castmates. They just chain you to the bed before anyone comes in. So and it was one of those plays where like I didn't want to wear contacts, but I can't see really well. So I would just lay there chained to a bed, like completely like spread eagled, and then everyone would walk in and you just hear like the whispers like, "Oh my God, what's happening? Like, who's that guy? Who's that guy over there?" And and the play would start.
It's experiential.
Yeah. The greatest moment of that scene, because you know how small that back room was at Rust Belt.
Oh yeah.
And well, spoilers on the ending of this, but I don't know if there's a production coming up anytime soon. The door to Rust Belt opens, and one of my brothers comes to save me, and we got this prop shotgun, and man, it had the loudest burst. So you had this like 2-hour play of this very somber play, and in the
then
final
suddenly,
30
boom.
seconds, it's this giant like the Wild Bunch ending where like it's just guns blazing. And like people were like just jumping out of their chairs because it was very close to have such a loud blast.
Yeah.
And probably looking back on it, not the most.
No. If you're out there and you saw that production,
That would have been like what? That would have been like 2004.
well, no, and we talked about that too. before we went on air, and that is how theater is ethereal. It's just like, it's a dream.
Yeah.
That line from Puck, in Midsummer Nights is true. That you were here with us. It was great. You laughed, you cried, you did all of this. If we offended, blah blah blah, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
And the only people who really remember it are the people who were there.
And I'm probably telling it now, like we talked about. It's the fish story now. It's like how I'm saying it is probably more grandiose than how it really happened.
I don't know. I think
I'm romanticizing the moment.
Maybe. There will be other things to romanticize in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly of Buffalo theater. So why don't we get this out of the way? Because the person who owns your soul and the person whose soul you own sent you here to plug product. And do you want to talk about Mike Doben?
He wanted to be here.
Oh, no. I know he
did.
wanted to, but he's
a workaholic.
He's directing 2 shows at the same time.
We're both only children that just seem to never want to stop working.
He's an only child. Aha. That explains
And we're both
lot.
Aquariuses, too.
That explains a ton of things. So you guys found brothers. You found theater brothers.
Yes. So he's doing, I wrote it down so I don't mess it up for him. He's directing 2 shows right now. Mm-hmm. He's directing the first half of a double feature for First Look Buffalo, Bob Rush's company. The play is called Reset. It's opening October 7th at Park School. And then he's doing a world...
What's it about?
It's like a sci-fi type of production. I haven't really talked to him too much about it.
Okay.
But it's the description of it is pretty cool. I've seen some of the set. And I think it's a 2-hander, and there's a nice little dance element that he's got Madeline Eller Dugan, now that she's married. Hopefully I got that right. And that's going to open October 7th at Park School.
And who wrote it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Is it a local?
Yeah,
right?
it's local. It's local.
And what's the title and the dates again?
It opens October 7th at Park School.
Okay.
It's called Reset. I think the whole project is called Future Wars.
Okay.
And I know Drew McCabe is directing the other one, but I'm not very familiar with what that one's about. But I mean, definitely go check it out.
And is it a school play?
No, it's for First Look Buffalo, Bob Rush's company. But I mean, I think that's just where they're doing it.
Right. Cool.
And then the next thing he is directing is a world premiere play. It's called Brace for Impact, and that's with Bellissima Productions. Mm-hmm. And that's written by Vinny DeStefano. Tickets now are available for both. He didn't actually give me the dates for that one, but I'm sure if you go to just Bellissima website, you can get all the information for that.
And it's Brace for what?
Brace for Impact.
I
think it was described to me as a pretty cool idea. A younger group of adults are just they find out, I believe, like a meteor is heading towards the Earth, and they're bracing for impact, and they're kind of like exploring their lives a little bit before the inevitable.
Right. It's end of world. It's okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's pulling triple duty.
Yeah.
with BUA.
Right. So, do we want to go to BUA at this point?
You're the boss.
Wow. It's debatable, but so when did your relationship with BUA start, and was it you and Mike? So I'm looking back, and it was pretty early on that you did some stuff for BUA.
Yeah, probably right around college.
You did
Kilt,
Valhalla,
both with Chris Kelly.
And you also did Harbor.
Harbor was when I came back to Buffalo after living in New York for a while. I actually got the first job with BUA on Kilt. A friend of mine from college couldn't do the role that it was supposed to be in Kilt. Uh-huh. They needed someone else, and just a mutual friend connected me to them, went and auditioned, and I think it's like so many things. You kind of like the people that you're working with, and then the very next show comes up and you're like, hey, I have a very similar part.
Okay.
That's so it's like you just kind of jump from one play to the next, and I did 2 shows for them and had a great time. Got to know Javier and Tony a little bit, and then I moved to New York,
mm-hmm.
and then I came back in 2014, 15, and then I went to Tab and put my name back out there that I was going to audition, and then I had a private audition for the Harbor team, and then and that's how I got back involved with BUA.
So this is way before you met Mike Doben.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a few years.
So Doben you met in what year?
2016, I think.
Okay.
Coming out of a local gym. There he is, standing there. I think he had he might have had his St. Joe's hockey jacket on. I think he was coaching at the time or playing, one of the two. And he's just like, here's the contract, and here's the rehearsal schedule for Judgment at Nuremberg. I'll see you later. It's okay, thanks.
So when he comes on the show,
Yeah.
I'll get him to do his impersonation of you.
Probably be higher pitched and nasally.
I didn't say it, you said it. So you have a long relationship with BUA, and then going back, and you were going to New York for
I went for theater. I went for theater for a little bit. Did a few shows out there, and then just kind of tailed off from it. I just kind of life kind of hit me in different ways, and it ended up being 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
And 8 years flew by, and then you realized, hey, wait a second, I've been here 8 years.
8 years. No, well, yeah. I lived in New York for about 8, and then I moved back to Buffalo, and then I just was like, let's do the acting thing one more time, just so you don't have any regrets.
Right.
A little bit later, let's just go audition and see what kind of happens.
Yeah.
And then, and it's interesting.
And when you were in New York, you did the waitering and the whatever you had to do to.
I actually worked in a, I want to say it's called like a gourmet garage. It's kind of like a mini Wegmans.
Oh.
That there was these little pockets of them stationed all over Manhattan. So I worked there for a little bit, and then I got into.
That paid the bills.
And then the guy who ran the theater I was with, I said, I really want to be a part of the show, but your stipend is not cutting it. I said, do you know anybody who's hiring a job? He's like, yeah, well, I run a legal staff. And so then I started doing legal assistant work.
Right.
And then, I just started like temping paralegal work, and then it was kind of a back.
Right, because you go and they want you to look at these documents, and they
Yeah.
want you to separate them. They want you to do.
And
this.
some jobs went longer than others. Some jobs were a day, other jobs were a couple weeks. One was 3 months, and then the one I did just before I left was a full year, and they were willing to hire me as like a regular employee. But then I told them, I'm like, I appreciate it, but I'm moving back to New York or back to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. So,
And what would have gotten you to stay in New York? What kind of break would it have taken for you to have stayed in New York? Were you trying out for things that were going to give you that break, or no?
I wasn't. I really wasn't. I kind of abandoned it.
See, but now. You know more now.
Right.
So theoretically, you could go back. Nah.
I don't know. I kind of like what we're building here.
Yeah. No.
I kind of feel like there might not be as much financial, but that's not important.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of the artistic and more what you can do to affect the community,
mm-hmm.
and what you're trying to produce and what you can hopefully bring for the next 25, 30 years, if possible.
Sure. So, so if you were to characterize the brand that is 1666 Productions.
Oh.
Wouldn't you say that that's like the flagship right now? Because you got BUA.
BUA is primary. Always will be primary.
BUA is primary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's a difficult thing. You know what I mean? I think it's a really difficult thing because Javier is a legend.
Yeah.
And they're big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the issues are fidelity to the tradition,
mm-hmm.
and yet doing your own thing. And sometimes they go hand in glove, and other times it's like, no, when you do this, people are going to say, oh, no.
Well, that's why we get 2 shows a year. we get, stick.
So the deal is they do 4 shows a year.
We do a fall show, a spring show, and then our summer camp show.
Okay.
And right now that is the kind of the setup as it is. Mike, I know if he was here, he would say he'd like to do more. Mm-hmm. He probably would want to do 6 shows.
But Mike is also directing two shows at the
Yeah.
same time right now, driving himself crazy and couldn't be here.
Right, but I appreciate that ambition, and I think it's something that we can look at. I think right now we're just getting our feet on the ground and kind of exploring what we can do with BUA as honoring the legacy, but also just trying out different types of plays a little bit.
Yeah. Because and how would you characterize? Because I don't want to characterize. So what is BUA in terms of its productions, and what's its primary focus?
Its primary focus is on the LGBTQ plus community, but it's also now expanding that that umbrella a little bit. More the different groups, the trans community and stuff of that nature that we can incorporate into it. And I think it's just continually to tell immediate stories that have an impact on the community at large, and try to bring as many people as we can from different ages into it as well.
Are you familiar with Harvey Firestein's book?
The Torch Song Trilogy? No.
No. I Was Better Last Night. It's his memoir.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, you got to listen to it because, he was there, and he was the forerunner in a lot of different issues, in a lot of different ways with Torch Song, et cetera, et cetera. But what he talks about is, like one of the issues that comes up is gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, he was kind of like, because he was Stonewall. He was tangentially there for different things, and he wasn't a leader, but his attitude was, they're bringing up gay marriage, and what do we need that for? But then he realized, hey, wait a second, they're right. Gay marriage is so integral to saying, this is a fundamental human right, the right to marry who you love. And besides that, it comes with insurance, it comes with all of these different things that give you stability. And then he was talking about the trans stuff and how he doesn't necessarily understand it, because it's the younger generation and it's the fight that you're getting into. And he says, yeah, I get that now too. So it's a really the audiobook, you can get the audiobook.
And it seems like, just the government it just you take two steps forward and then you take four, you know what I mean? It's like we can never, it seems like we're always kind of stuck in this like repeating cycle where like the other side is just like, like you have politicians on the right just being like, well, where are you going to take us, like back to before like BUA even started? And it's you think like maybe you can start.
You think you made progress,
and then you try different stories, and then you're like, well, maybe not. Maybe these same stories are going to have to be told again in a different way, because society just keeps recycling themselves. We can't move forward.
Yeah. So what's the season for BUA this year?
We're going to open Gentleman Caller on October 27th.
Okay.
And then. We can talk about that in a little bit. Sure. And then the second show will be Mediocre Heterosexual Sex, and that will be in the spring, March time. We'll have to give an exact date on that, but that'll come. We'll make an announcement on that, but sometime in March.
Then the summer program is with youth, or what is it?
The summer show is usually the summer camp show. Jimmy Janowski and that gang kind of putting something together. Right. But we're not going to officially announce anything today.
Oh yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. So did you want to talk about the season offerings, the first one, a little bit now?
Well, Gentleman Caller is going to be an interesting bit first. Have you ever been to the Bittersweet Piano Lounge?
I don't think so. I've been to, I've seen shows at the Cabaret at Alleyway. Yeah. Alleyway Cabaret.
Yeah, we are not going to do a show at Alleyway this season for the first two shows. Bittersweet Piano Lounge is actually at the Hotel Lafayette.
Okay, I know where that is.
If you know where the ballrooms are, before you get there's that bar area. And the gentleman who owns it now, Gino Drake, he's turned it into like a really cool little bar thing. He has...
So what's it called again?
The Bittersweet Piano Lounge.
Okay.
It's at 391 Washington Street.
Yeah.
So we were in there. I had met Gino, I think, at I want to say a BUA function. Javier introduced me to him, and then, I'd gone over there for a drink. We went to go see a show. I think it was a drag show, and singer. It was an opera night, and we just loved it. Loved the energy, loved the vibe. And Mike then says, we were discussing where are we going to do it, because we had lost the ability to do the show at Alleyway, and the other place that we were looking for, it wasn't looking like it was going to happen there for multiple reasons.
And New Phoenix has opened up, but you guys weren't considering New Phoenix ever because it's more a downtown thing? Or?
Well, it's who owns it?
I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what's in there right now. But so then Mike's like, let's do it at the Piano Lounge. I'm like, yeah.
And how many seats is the Piano Lounge?
We can hold about 50.
Okay.
50 a night.
Uh-huh.
And then, it's going to, we ordered the pipe and the drape, and it'll be some, it'll be a unique type of theater experience.
It'll be an intimate theater experience.
An intimate theater experience. But if you look at the history of BUA, we've been bouncing around theaters.
Sure.
And air and spots. It hasn't always been in a theater.
Right.
Sometimes it's been in an attic. Sometimes it's been in a basement. Sometimes it's been at a theater. So, why not continue that tradition a little bit?
Yeah, I don't see any problems with that.
I think it'll be cool. I think it fits the play. The play takes place, I believe, in 30s. It explores a fictionalized kind of prequel to Tennessee Williams and William Ing.
Oh, okay.
It's a pre Glass Menagerie Tennessee Williams, and it's a pre William Ing even writing. He's like a theater critic.
Okay, so it is actually Tennessee Williams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Matt Rittler plays Tennessee, and Jonathan Beckman plays William Ing. Philip Dawkins. He's a Chicago playwright. He's worked. BUA did a play of his, The Homosexuals, a few years ago. I think maybe in 2014, 2015. And James Shahaki, he's our director. When we were looking for a director for the show after the summer show, we thought of kind of James almost immediately. And we gave him one idea, and I don't think he liked it that much. I think he was being polite, and he was like, "Yeah, I can kind of make it work." But I think deep down he's like, "No, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this."
And thankfully,
I hope they don't make me do this.
The performance rights were way too expensive, so everything worked out well. And then and he's like, "Well, I know Philip, and we've worked with him before. He's a great writer, and I agreed with all of it. Mike and I agreed with all of that. So that's when we got the rights to Gentleman Caller."
Cool. And the second show?
Mediocre Heterosexual Sex. That is by Madison Wetzel. They probably will not be familiar to most people who don't check out the new Play Exchange.
Okay.
This was...
is that where you guys found
This was like a deep dive into the new Play Exchange.
So you were looking in...
We were looking for just new young voices.
Mm-hmm.
They are a playwright from San Francisco.
Okay.
I believe they're actually moving to New York to go to NYU or Columbia this fall. I should probably email them soon to talk about some things. But
so it's a trans person who is the author, or no?
Non-binary.
Oh, non-binary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a play about gender, sex, power, kink, BDSM type of relationships. We've asked, and we're very excited, Mia LaMarco is going to direct it. You know Mia, don't you, from Aurora Players?
I know Mia.
That's right. We worked on the...
in the shorts.
The shorts,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I liked how she had the audience, the characters go around the audience.
Yeah.
See, I was worried that she thought I ripped that off for Sleepy Hollow because I had my character, me and Mary had the characters move around. And I was like, man, she's going to think that's why. But maybe there was some sort of serendipity there.
The Hamlin part.
Yeah.
It lends itself to movement.
Yeah.
And to,
But, it's a cool set. So there's a couch right down the middle. It's split. It exists in two apartments. One with the dominatrix and her partner, their partner, and then our main character in the other apartment. And the main character kind of moves back and forth, just looking for advice because they broke up with their girlfriend.
Okay.
And they are very upset. So in a moment of desperation, they go on Tinder, and they pick out a man who lives in the same apartment. But they're not into men. But he comes down anyway, and then things go.
So is it a farce in a sense?
No, I think it's pretty serious.
Okay.
It's pretty serious. It's a
Okay.
pretty serious play about a lot of different issues. And
Because it sounded like there's some comedic elements.
oh yeah, there can be. But I
Okay.
mean, at the end of the day, it's I think it's an important story to tell at this time, and definitely no one under the age of 18.
Okay.
So
I hear you there. Well, we got an important question that came in. This is the first question ever that's ever come in. Do you know this Jay Grandy?
Yeah, I do.
You do? He wants to know what your Super Bowl picks are.
All right, fine. Hold on, I got to remember what I put down. So what we do is I do this every year. I pick the rankings of every team just before the season starts to see
Wow.
how it goes. I had
For the end of the year.
no for all the divisions.
Right. How they're going to place in their division.
Yeah, and then the AFC Championship, NFC Championship. I had the Bills versus the Rams in the Super Bowl, and then I had the Bills winning.
Okay, Jay.
So
I hope.
and after yesterday, I'm still sticking to that.
Yeah. Oh no. There's this. I really think that Josh Allen and McDermott are going to learn from, because the first half was the same kind of situation with clock management, and
They won't play in
Back in the ball.
103-degree heat forever.
that's true.
By the end of the year, they'll
yeah.
be playing in minus
I-
3-degree heat.
Yeah. And some people were getting on the case and saying, oh well, the Bills, they freeze people, and it's like, no, they you can have heaters here. It's like they weren't. My understanding was they're in 103-degree heat, right? And they weren't allowed to have fans or something. They weren't allowed to have blowers. Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, they've been going down there since forever, right?
Yeah,
So they should have at least some plan.
right, for the heat and
Yeah.
how to deal with it. But I guess.
But maybe they didn't expect
I
to
guess
play
Diggs
90
was-
plays.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they really dominated the clock.
It almost made me think maybe there are some times you should just not continue on offense.
Right, just let them.
Just throw the ball away, get off the field, and let your defense
That's-
play for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of save
'Cause,
yourself for later.
Diggs took himself out at certain points because he was getting fatigued. But
I work in air-conditioned theaters.
you do. All right, so I got another question. I want to get back to the Doben thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about his mustache wax budget and how that impacts on. There's a lot, right?
I mean, hopefully they don't audit BUA. No.
So you're both Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
You're both only kids.
Yeah.
What in terms of so you got BUA, you got 1666 Productions.
Mhm.
Do you have something else?
No.
No,
That's
it's those two entities.
That's
right?
kind of it.
So what do you bring to it? And I kind of have a sense of this because I worked with you guys on Plungeons and Dragons last year for 48 hours. I kind of have a sense of what your answer might be. What do you bring to the partnership, and what does he bring to the partnership? Is that a good question?
Yeah. I think as I'm doing this, we both bring that we need. It sometimes seems like it's just such it's such like a heavy lift.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just nice to have someone to always be able to bounce ideas off of, someone that you can trust and you respect their artistic integrity and their authenticity to following the same type of goals that you are. So Mike, if I take care of if we need to do 10 things and we each have a busy day, if I can get 5 of them done, he can get the other 5 done. So we're both there for each other and for BUA in that regard. It's almost like, it's almost like a tag team type of situation.
He's got your back.
Definitely, 100%.
And you got his back.
And I think from an artistic standpoint, I mean, we both come from different areas of it. I'm more person on the stage and directing, but he is more straight, directing, which is his passion. And he's done some stage managing, but he's also wonderful with set and understanding production values and stuff like that. So there are certain questions where I'm like, is this possible? And I'm like, I seem like such a novice to this. And then kind of going back and forth that way.
So and you guys are new to film, relatively new to film.
Relatively, yeah.
Because your stage background is extensive.
Mm-hmm.
We got loads. You played George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah. Shaved my head, put on the weight. They even bought the jacket.
Really?
That was like a subversive thing that like they got the jacket that they got the same style of jacket
Yeah.
that he had, That was Gary. That was one of Gary Ross's. That was a great piece.
Yeah, and then you also because Gary Earl Ross had the Stoker's Gas too that you helped out with, and but of all your credits, of all your theater credits, which do you think was the most challenging? Which do you think helped you grow as an actor?
I mean,
you want to look at the credits?
No. Well, yeah, sure. I'll take a look real fast.
Look at the credits. Skim them.
Probably
Shere Khan.
that was
That was fun.
That was the most physical one.
Probably paid more, right?
Yeah, but
yeah.
Kiss the Spider Woman.
Yeah.
Is probably the most challenging.
So which part did you play in that? Because I'm familiar with Raul Julia and in the movie.
I played the William Hurt character.
Oh.
And I think it's just doing. The only thing short of that is almost just doing a one-man show. Because outside of that, a two-hander is like me and Rolando on stage.
Right.
And there's nobody coming to save you if something goes wrong. Opening night was just, I felt like things were just like going off the rails, but it ended up, apparently, everyone seemed to really enjoy it. It seemed to go over really, really well, but, it's like the nerves. And the audience is so close. Like, the audience is the space between you and me right now. And I think it finally allowed me to kind of get into a character that didn't have to leave the stage, that I could immerse myself in for an extended period of time. And also the audience could see you as an actor, that you could do something of that nature, that it didn't have to be just, a blink and you miss type of like role or something like shorter. Mm-hmm. It was a fully developed character that I did enjoy playing.
Who directed? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
I'm blanking. Hold on one second. Go to another question. I'll find it.
Yeah. Have you done a one-hander or any of these?
Only in college.
Shows? Okay.
Only in college. I did a one-man. For our final piece in Theater 301, it was you had to write your own one-man show.
Ah.
Yeah. So it was. I was really big into poker at the time, so I created a one-man show where I was all the different characters sitting around a poker table.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I came up with like all these different like kind of weird characters that did that. Cool. So, and there we go. Oh my God, Victoria Perez was the director. Jesus. Sorry. I bumped into Ken Shaw the other day at the bar that he owns. And he goes, "Hey, Rick," and I go, "Hi." Hi. And then he knew that I totally couldn't remember.
That you were blank.
And he totally put me on the spot, and my face just red.
Wow, but if you saw Victoria Perez, you'd say, "Oh, you wouldn't blank on Victoria."
No.
It's
in fact, I don't know. I got to get her back the Spider Woman book.
Oh.
Because she let me borrow the novel, and we never finished it.
That may be the really ugly part.
we never finished the play because we only did 2 performances because COVID shut us down.
Ah.
That's the heartbreak about that production.
But you don't have time to finish to do it again.
No. I know Rolando comes up to me at matinee every once in a while. He's like, "We have to do it again."
And
that would be really. And I was like, "Well, Phoenix doesn't exist anymore." But you know what?
But there are other venues.
But you know what? Maybe BUA will look into doing the musical version somewhere down the line.
That's cool.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Or did you just come up with that? We don't know.
No. Absolutely not.
You thought of that before?
No, always thinking 3 years down the line.
See, because I'm thinking, when I'm looking at some of the credits, I'm thinking like the one-man show that you do is Edgar Allan Poe.
I was Edgar Allan Poe for Halloween last year.
So what does that costume look like?
Leggings, hot pants, and then just like whose idea it was. It was Stephanie Warnick's and Brenna Prather.
I know Stephanie.
And Brenna's.
She's a fight coordinator and an actress, and yep.
Yeah, there's pictures online. It's a very popular costume. I don't know I'll be able to top it this year. I don't know. I was thinking of going as getting someone to go as like Vegas Elvis, and then I would go as the Colonel.
Oh.
But like kind of do like a spoof on like the Tom Hanks Colonel, like just like this big like, you know, like this, almost like the Baron in Dune.
Yeah.
That'll be that would be my version of the Colonel.
So this is another thing. So you're into science fiction.
Yeah.
You're into Poe,
Mm-hmm.
right? So is there going to be an overlap there sometime for BUA with science fiction?
Maybe. I mean, we could
Because
always.
I know Bella Poynton.
Yeah.
She's a local playwright. She loves to write science fiction. If you guys said, hey, yeah, why don't you try your hand at writing a play that is that's non-binary or whatever, which is, science fiction has been there for forever.
Yeah.
Science fiction was there ahead of time.
I think one of the things that Mike and I are always open to is our texts, our emails. We're always open for people to come to us with ideas. You know,
Yeah.
we don't. I mean, we have like, like what I said in the beginning about like opening the umbrella up, opening the tent up.
Right.
That's probably what I meant to say. But anyone that comes to us with like a script, an idea, we'd love to hear it, and whatever, and just
Yeah.
go from there.
The worst you can say is no.
Yeah.
And then they get discouraged and downhearted.
We can do a very muscular
and then
John Carter of Mars at BUA. You know what I mean? I mean, that would be fun.
Yeah.
We get a lot of body grease. But I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the possibilities are endless. But so
Don't you have like
what?
I was saying like down the road, do you ever like look at like how far ahead do you plan?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I well, right now I'm directing Boys Next Door.
Right.
So and I had been looking forward after Lancaster Regional had me direct. They asked me they came to me and they said, hey, would you direct Brighton Beach Memoirs? I was like, yeah, I love Neil Simon, and I love Brighton Beach Memoirs. And they said, yeah, next year, we can do Biloxi or Broadway Bound, and you'll do the trilogy. It's like, yeah, cool, I'll do the trilogy. And then they got screwed over. So
I know that feeling.
yeah, so they don't exist anymore. And they sold all their assets and the rehearsal space and everything like this. But I have thought, well, this coming summer, I'm hoping to go to India.
Okay.
For 3 to 4 weeks with a friend of mine who I went to Europe with. So I got kids.
I don't.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I have a dog.
Well, that's
And
nice.
a cat.
I'm sure you have plans for your dog and your cat.
Yeah.
You're looking ahead and
No, but like I have an easel at home, and I basically just write in like a nice black magic marker like the next 3 years of like the theater ideas.
yeah, that's cool.
See,
I'm not an artistic director, so I can't. I get offers from people to do things.
Yeah.
And then I mostly say yes. And I really would like to do this podcast more.
should.
And it's not. I used to do like 2 shows a night when I could get the space, because the space is at a premium. It's one studio. This studio has the video, and I really thought more about doing it Mark Maron style, which is long format, which is an hour. Well, this guy he's the godfather of. You got to listen to him. I'm telling you, you got to listen to the Harvey Fierstein interview that he did. It's a great interview. He does great interviews. He digs deep. The best ones are where you can hear that they're having a conversation, that they like each other, as opposed to he's interviewing people and it's like, oh, this is dying, and you can hear it. But I wanted to do interviews with like you can speak freely about things without repercussions for you in terms of your career, right? But there are some people who have come on the show and like, oh, we got to go back. We got to erase that.
I mean,
And it's like, I don't want to erase anything. I want people to be free, but I also understand, like I teach in a, if I was teaching at a Catholic school, it would be different. I'm not. I did teach at Catholic school. I'm teaching in Buffalo Public School, and the teachers are getting screwed over, but they've been screwed over for years, and I can say that, and what the heck are they going to do to me? I can't say, okay, we're organizing a strike right here, right now.
Right.
Because of the Taylor Law. Do you know what the Taylor Law does? So if the Buffalo Public School teachers go on strike, for every day they're on strike, they're docked 2 days' pay. Holy crap.
A lot.
Yeah, no. So, you strike for 1 day and you're expecting, oh, yeah, I'll be docked today. It's 2 days, and it's 2 days every day, as opposed, and the union president, Phil Rumore, will do prison time. They'll put him in jail for organizing a strike if we go on strike. So, kids, we're wage slaves. We're wage slaves. There are worse wage slaves to be.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you this, since you brought it up and you're asking me things. You know what I had the biggest difficulty with in terms of life? I went to Haiti on mission, and ever since I went to Haiti, I have like a first world PTSD, because I feel guilty about every little shitting thing.
Everything you have.
Everything I have, and I say to myself, I didn't do anything to earn this. What did I do? Except I was born in New York City, the greatest city in the world, and I was born in the United States of America, the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And because of that, what do they want me to do? Well, really, frankly, go to work, get some money. We really need you as a consumer. If you think about it, that's what they really need. When I pump gas, and when I go to the supermarket, I look at the supermarket, because the supermarket in Haiti was like the size of this room. Oh, and they don't have, when I was driving through Haiti, Port-au-Prince, this is the capital, and there's a guy standing by a wall, and he's pissing on a wall. And it's like, okay, there's one guy pissing on a wall. Then you drive a little further, there's another guy pissing, because they don't have bathrooms. Why don't they have fucking bathrooms? Because they don't want them to have the proper sanitation, because if they had the proper sanitation, instead of having a population of 9 to 10 million, they'd have a population of, let's say, 15 to 20 million. And they want Haiti to stay poor. And I am part of the problem. I try to do what I can, but I feel guilty about, I got a sandwich. I got a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but
I don't deserve this fucking chicken sandwich, Rick. I don't. No, none of us do.
But maybe every day is you trying to earn it in some way.
Yeah, I do. I've been on mission to Peru. The mission to Peru did not bum me out as much as the mission to Haiti. I don't know why, but that was my first third world experience in Haiti, and it just. Have you been to the third world?
No.
Don't go. It's very depressing. No, but the thing about the Haitians is, on Sunday, for Sunday Mass, they've got clean. So I'm driving in Port-au-Prince, right? I'm being driven there, and not only do I see guys pissing on walls, but I also see a dry cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's a dry cleaner. Drive another block. There's another dry cleaner. 2-3 more blocks, another dry cleaner. What the F is going on with dry cleaners? In Haiti, they have great pride in their appearance, and it's beautiful. They're lovely people. They live in paradise. The place where they can't hide their poverty is their shoes, because Haiti means mountain, and you see stacks of shoes by the side of the road with big gaping holes in it. And it's just like, yeah, you can't hide your poverty there. It shows up on your feet. There's a title for a play.
It shows up on your feet.
It shows up poverty shows up on your feet. Yeah,
it shows
up on your feet.
I sometimes think, because in like the theater world, like what type of change you can bring in theater.
Yeah.
It's like I always think about those movies. I was just talking to Mark Humphreys about this at a function the other day. We're talking about like our like what we thought was a powerful Vietnam movie. Mm-hmm. And I always think about like when like these war movies come out and people are like, wow, this is like a a really like hard-hitting, gut-wrenching view of what it's like.
Saving Private Ryan.
And
the
it's supposed
the first couple of minutes.
It's supposed to stop the war. It's like an anti-war film. Most of the good ones are anti-war films.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're like, oh, great, they make a lot of money. People go, and everyone's like all sad, and they're like, oh God, this was amazing. We should stop war. And then since like a Platoon, which is what we were talking about, there's been how many more wars? So how much of effect does it really have? But then, to say that like doing, art is never meaningless, because it affects. All it has to do is just touch one person.
To touch the right person.
To cause something. And I was having this other conversation with someone, I won't say their name, but we were sort of wondering if things are becoming these are his words, too safe in theater, too worried about the box office, too worried about the good review, making things things may need to become more uncomfortable.
That ship is already sailed, because you go to Broadway and it's recycled Disney. Musicals are the things that are challenging are few and far between, and the things that are Disney and product and pre-sold product, it's all there.
But
oh no, theater I think is a good place to challenge. Film is also a good place to challenge. Is it happening? Yeah, it is, but the bastards that it needs to impact, we're not impacting on Donald Trump. We're not impacting on Vladimir Putin. Right?
I don't think he got the last show that we did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he would have liked it. Maybe.
What's the name of the Russian band that he banned? Pussy Riot.
I have no idea.
He doesn't get it. Vladimir just doesn't get it, and Donald doesn't get it either. They don't care. So, but
we should care.
No, and we do care, and the people that we impact, the different shows that you do have an impact on individuals, and I think they kind of galvanize people, and say, I think there's more opposition. But then again, the media is so powerful, like with the war in Russia. I was having an argument with a priest, because he was saying to me, he said, well, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is about Ukraine and Russia. And it's like, really? You think that, there may be a Russian side to this? And he was kind of implying, yeah, I think. And here's a priest, a Roman Catholic priest, right? Who's supposed to be in favor of peace, and he is. I know him. He's a good man. He does missionary work, but in terms of this, the media has got his head so turned around that he's questioning things that he sees, and because Fox News was throwing shade at the Ukrainian cause.
I haven't gone to church in a really long time. Really long time.
That's okay. You're always welcome back, even if you just want to go as an experience. So you can turn it into theater.
We were at the.
Were you raised Catholic?
I was. I went to the Basilica a lot in Lackawanna. Yeah. Sometimes I just like going there for like the peace that you feel. But
you're always welcome there.
As you explore, as you talk to more people and you learn about more things, my mother would say that she was not a big fan of a lot of the things that were going on with individual priests and their what was going on with them and the children of the church.
Oh my God!
And she just
what's more scandalous is the hierarchy and how the hierarchy handled the whole thing.
Yeah, and she just completely abandoned
the guys.
It. Right.
I hear you.
And it's just I feel so many people just excuse so much behavior in the name of religion, and that just kind of like throws me off a lot.
I don't excuse it, I don't. You don't have to excuse it, but I think and you're a couple of decades younger than me, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. but my son is. I had him when we had him when I was 24. My wife was 24. And that generation, your generation, is more spiritualist. and less organized religion is what I've found. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I think later on in life, there are no atheists in the trenches. And when you get to the point where you're in your 90s, Rick may be picking up the rosary beads again.
Well, see,
and hedging his bets and saying, hey, maybe
that is I'll tell you something. It is true like that. There are times when I'm like, no, I don't have any belief in anything of like a higher thing. But then I get on an airplane. And I took a trip to Portland, and I definitely knew I was being watched as I just said something just before they gunned it. so I definitely am a hypocrite perhaps when it comes to that.
Do you know Pascal's wager?
That sounds familiar, but
Pascal's wager is really cool. So it's a matrix, and the matrix is there is no God, or there is a God, right? And I believe, or I don't believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's pretty simple. So basically, you believe and there is a God. That's a big plus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why God would be offended by an atheist, but theoretically, you believe and there is a God. You believe and there is no God. It's a wash. Who cares? There is no God and I don't believe. Psh, who cares? There is a God and I don't believe. You're screwed.
That's how it works?
Well, yeah. No, that's what Blaise Pascal came up with. He said, well, if I'm thinking about it, and it's a betting game, right? The thing to bet on is, I'm going to believe. But I don't know if God is going to be happy with a token, based on a matrix. You figured, I better hedge my bets. I better believe in God. I just find a comfort in God.
Okay.
And my wife and I have raised our kids, and we find a comfort in God, and Jesus is a cool guy. There, I said it. I
have a T-shirt at home that says "Jesus is my homeboy."
He is.
And he's just there smiling.
Do you remember Dogma and Buddy Jesus?
No, I didn't see that movie.
Oh, you got to see Dogma. Buddy Jesus. It's a statue of Jesus going like this. Yeah. Well, no, it's one of the things with the kids at school. I'm a social studies teacher. Can I talk about religion? Of course I can, because it's part of social studies.
Yeah.
But I tell them about all of them. I tell them how the Hindus believe that, Rick Lattimer made good theater in this lifetime, so in the next lifetime he's going to come back as a big-time producer.
I thought it'd come back as like a quill.
No. But if you make crappy theater, you could come back as, a cockroach or
but
or
crappy
monkey.
theater. I mean, that's in everybody's view. Different viewpoints.
That's true. Yeah. It's very subjective. What's crappy theater?
I mean, it depends. It depends on what the audience expects and what you give them.
Yeah.
They could be like, this isn't my thing, but it could have been really good, or vice versa.
Oh yeah, no. I know there's quality theater that people are like, oh, I didn't like that.
Have you seen a lot in Buffalo lately?
Not lately, but in the last couple of years, I've seen lots. I always try to go to see different things. What have you seen recently?
I've been running I've been running people.
Oh, you've been doing your shows, so you don't get a chance to run.
I saw the last one at Art that Matt wrote. I liked that one a lot.
Paradigm Bomb.
I
haven't seen it yet. It's still open, right?
I think this is the last weekend.
Yeah.
So
I won't be able to see it because I'm going camping. I'm a Boy Scout leader too, so I also have to go camping.
I'm doing a show for them at the end of the year.
What's the show?
Birth of Santa, or The Origin of Santa. I always screw up the title. Justin's going to be like, you're an idiot. Justin Karcher wrote it. Eric Maury's directing it.
Which one sounds better? Birth of Santa.
It's the Birth of Santa.
Yeah, it's the Birth of Santa. Origins of Santa sounds like a superhero movie.
I play the ghost of Norman Rockwell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's an interesting piece that Justin wrote all about like commercialism and art.
Yeah.
And it is the Birth of Santa.
Yeah, Justin's been on the show 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he likes to have deep conversations about things too.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, frankly, could care less, that we drifted here or we drifted there, because as long as we're talking and we're having a good time and we're talking about important stuff, I think it's I think it's all good.
Excellent.
But yeah, so The Birth of Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Norman Rockwell.
Yeah.
Have you seen the script already?
Yeah, it's really
okay.
fun. It's
Okay.
fun. It's basically, I guess you would say, Justin's kind of spin on the Dickens Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
So the ghosts come back. And
there's an artist who's kind of disillusioned, forced to do commercialism when he wants to paint his own thing.
Okay.
And then, you know, he's visited by the
Oh,
little,
so he's the Ebenezer Scrooge character.
yeah, but he's much nicer. And then he's just visited by a couple ghosts, and Norman Rockwell just happens to be one of them. So, but we were debating, like, you know,
Does he get Thomas Nash in there?
not in the version I saw. But, you know, original work, you could change every time I show up to rehearsal.
Justin, if you... Oh, man, there's another question.
Oh.
I have worked with Rick. It's just somebody sucking up now. It's David Moran.
Oh, David.
Yeah, Dave. Thank you, David.
You know,
I've worked with you too, David. I see how this is going.
David gave me a guitar,
Oh.
and it sits in my bedroom, and I don't know how to play it.
Oh.
Because we were going to do a play where we had to all play we were going to do a play about a band.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-oh.
what's up?
We got 1 minute.
Oh, well, my idea was I didn't want to learn how to play it, so I said we just kind of like waiting for Godot, you wait for the band to play. And at the end, just
You
before
should
they're about to rock out, the lights go off.
You should still learn how to play.
We went through an hour already.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, man. Yeah, the first guy who drew Santa Claus, it was for like a Coca-Cola thing or whatever, and it's turn of the century. It's an ad, and Thomas Nast. But he was also the guy who drew a picture of Boss Tweed. This is your history lesson. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So Boss Tweed, it was a cartoon of this corrupt New York City politician. The guy fled the country, and how did they catch him in Spain? From that cartoon. Well, there you go.
Well, they're not going to catch Norman Rockwell.
No. Norman's really dead. So I want to thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, it was great.
Ah!
And I flipped the switch down, Richard. Right?